What's up, everybody? I'm Sly the Movie Guy, and here's my movie review on Deadpool 2, directed by David Leitch. The director of Atomic Blonde stars Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Josh Brolin, T.J. Miller, and Zazie Beetz. The other cast of crew that returned here in this film, and this is the second Marvel character that Josh Brolin is playing from the other film he played. You know what character I'm talking about. And in this film, the foul-mouthed mutant mercenary Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, brings together a team of fellow mutant rogues to protect a young boy of supernatural abilities from the brutal time-traveling mutant Cable. I was really excited for this movie. This was one of my anticipated films of 2018. Because I love the first one. The first one is one of my favorite comic book films. I thought that was very funny. I liked how they did the breaking the fourth wall, everything that was in it. Everything was so good about this film. So I went to this movie theater very excited, but I noticed that it's been times that first movies be good and second movies just don't turn out. This movie did not let me down. I enjoyed this one thoroughly. Is it better than the first one? That's the question. Nah, I don't think so. It's good as the first one, but not as I think the first one was just so well done and well. That's pretty much I can say. Let me talk about this movie because I did enjoy this. The things I loved about this was it's a little bit different from the first film. That's all I like. It's a little bit different, but it has the same a little bit the humor as the first one, and that's what I liked about this film. This film is very self-aware, and then it does some stuff to make us see the character Deadpool. That's one of the things I noticed. These movies, even though we know Deadpool say crazy stuff, he say raunchy, he goes with the humor, and this film does that. It knows the character Deadpool, and the writers and Ryan Reynolds was the writer of this movie and the director. The people that worked on this movie understand the character Deadpool so well. That's why I think this film had that same heart and magic as the first one. That's why I think this film really does well on that. And as the film goes on, we learn that Deadpool has stuff happening to him. He's kind of having these things or whatever. He has these flashbacks and stuff. We get those things, and that's where this film really nails it. What I like about it is the chemistry in this movie. This movie actually does well on that. Now, we see Deadpool and Cyclops with their chemistry. And that is from the first movie, does well. This one does well too. It does good in that part. Everything works with the things. Let me mention the beginning part, because that's what I forgot. The beginning, it's upbeat. The movie is still on that fast-paced part. It doesn't have dull moments and all. The right in the beginning of the film, you already rolling. You're already seeing what Deadpool's doing. You already got what he's doing, getting the connection with him. And what I like about it is Deadpool connecting to this young boy that played from Hunt for the Wilder People. I forgot his name, but he was in that film, a Taika Waititi film. If you haven't checked that out yet, I recommend you to. And this was just one of them that he does, that him and that boy have that chemistry where I actually like that, especially when they get in trouble, they get into the jailhouse. You get to see that. I won't spoil much on that scene, but you get to understand what the boy's background and how Deadpool's caring. And it actually shows Deadpool caring for this kid, and he's an anti-hero, Deadpool. And we know how crazy Deadpool can be. But we see this chemistry where he's trying to save this boy, and he's talking to him. And we get to learn that on Deadpool. And that's something that I didn't expect that film to go to that approach, which is fine, because that was really beautifully done, how they did that in this film. Itself, it does that. And as the film goes on, we get to see the scene of Cable and what he's doing, because he's the time-traveling thing played by Josh Brolin. And Josh Brolin, him as Cable, perfect. I didn't know how that was going to go, but I like Josh Brolin as an actor. I knew his acting range from Men in Black and Avengers Infinity War. Here, he is just having a full throttle blast. He is so good as Cable. What I like about it, he gives that mean demeanor as Cable. He gives that character vibe of Cable, and it really is done well. And when him and Deadpool, and him is Deadpool and him, excuse me, him and Deadpool in battle, it is so well done. Them battling, I just wanted to see that on screen, and it worked well. It didn't feel like, oh, it didn't belong in the film. Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin, when they meet together and against each other in the film, it actually felt like a comic book where Deadpool and Cable's getting into it and all that. It works. That's why I get into the X-Force. You will love, especially Zazie Beetz as Domino. You'll like her. The females, you'll like her. She does well in this film. Just as much everything does well with the X-Force. Terry Crews, you probably have a blast with the X-Force. Those are the funniest scenes, I'll say. Those scenes get funny. And the humor, I forgot to mention the humor part. The humor is very clever, just like the first movie. Some of it kind of like I just didn't care for. But when the humor comes in, it's like reference to other superhero movies you've seen before or other ones. The humor, actually, I laughed at. I had a blast. At times, there was some humors that really was hitting. I was like, it was so freaking funny. It was one of those scenes that I liked where the actress lady, I can't remember, she played on Empire as Lucha's mom, whatever. But her and Deadpool in one scene, I'm not going to spoil it. It had my jaw dropping. Something happens about Deadpool and he gets back to her. It's just the same. It's that same scene. If you saw the first movie, if you know what I'm talking about from the first movie, you'll see it. Everything that works well. There's so much the humor works. Some of it, like I said, it's kind of like, that was one of the negatives I had, the humor part. Action-wise. Action is 10 times more than the first film. Is it like better than the first film? Yes. Does it go overboard? Certain scenes, the action does go too long, where I was just like, kind of waiting for it. It's just like this film went a little big with the action. With the action is great. I'll say this: the action you get a blast. Action, David Leitch did for Atomic Blonde, which I thought to me was a fine film. His action does well on this film. He knows how to do the action. I think the action was just completely done. I think between the middle to the third act, kind of considering the third act, it kind of gets too long where I was like, nah. And I just didn't like, it didn't take me out as much, but kind of went too long. Where the first movie, the action was kind of like, yeah, right on Deadpool. But since they put a bunch of characters, you expect to see a lot of action with a bunch of characters like the X-Force, Cable, and Deadpool. Which that says it's a surprising character in here. One of the X-Men characters that was so delightful. He's one of my favorites. Don't want to spoil it, but it was just a blast just to see that character back. I just really was just happy of seeing that character come on screen. So that was just 2 thumbs up. You know what I'm talking about, you see. Also, stay for the mid-credit scene. I'm telling you, just stay over there. You'll be like, wow. I'm not going to spoil it. Just stay there. Just stay. You'll be surprised when you see the mid-credit scene. Just going to say that. I'll say, overall, this movie is great. Is it better than the first one? No. It returned some of the same stuff from the first one, but this was just a total blast film. I just had little issues with the humor. And like I said, the action went long. But overall, this movie just did everything. I had a blast. I think you will have a blast with this movie. I recommend you checking it out. Take your girlfriends, your homies, or anybody. See this movie. You will have a blast. This is I'm just going to keep it at that. Don't want to spoil too much. I'm going to give Deadpool 2 a A-. Let me know in the comment section, what do you thought about this movie? Tell me. I would love to know. This movie was just just made me happy. First one's really good. If you haven't seen that yet, just let me know in the comment section what you thought about the 2 Deadpool movies and this, just anything about Deadpool. Leave it in the comment section down below. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, click thumbs up. Or if you're new to the channel, click subscribe. That's why I can see you next time on Sly the Movie Guy. Peace. Time for me to get a chimichanga.